Welcome, welcome. My name is Writer Maven. I am the host of the Wrestling Receipts podcast. I cover all things Judgment Day, Dom, Liv, Raquel, Ben, JD, now Roxanne, and poor Carlito. Um, this SmackDown, I decided to come live just because we had that impromptu, well, they just announced match between Roxanne Perez, Alexa Bliss, Sol Roca, and Kairi Sane. So I'm going to cover that. I'm going to cover what happened prior to SmackDown, and then I'm going to get into my Evolution predictions. Let's get into what happened prior to SmackDown. Um, Roxanne. Oh, darn you. Hold on. Well, Roxanne was talking about her first tag team title defense. Coming up. She said, "Don't miss my first tag team title. Don't miss my first tag team championship title defense on Peacock." Just talking about. And then she tagged Liv in this one. She tagged Raquel and she tagged Liv in that little post there. And then Liv we post the tweet and adds, "Good luck." Now, what was funny about this little retweet is one, Liv put the really smile big emoji with her response. So it's looking almost like really sarcastic, but almost like crazy slasher-ish with that response. Like good luck and a big smile like that. So it was just really interesting to have that type of post there. So it was really funny to see Liv post that way. And then Dom, being the nice boyfriend that he is, retweeted that almost immediately. So, yeah, it was just really interesting to see that post from Roxanne. Like Roxanne, it was trying to kind of be shady with her like retweet to Liv, but Liv kind of turns it around and like good luck with the big smile emoji. So that was funny going on earlier today. Um, and then we got into the SmackDown, the Fatal 4-Way. We had interactions again with Charlotte and Alexa Bliss. I did not like how they cut out everybody's entrance except Alexa. We got the tail end of Roxanne's, and I'm going to get into why that was a little interesting in a minute. But they cut out all the entrances except Alexa Bliss. And we have a PLE Evolution for the women on Sunday, and you're still cutting out entrances? Like, I couldn't even see it on the international feed, and I'm watching SmackDown on Netflix International. So they didn't even post it there. So it just feels really slight of them to do that. And then, while Roxanne was up on the turnbuckle holding up her championship belt, or Liv championship belt, whatever. She's holding up the belt. The camera goes to Raquel. Now, Raquel at first has this snarl on her face. And I'm like, okay, here we go again. We're going from her being angry. She's going back and forth. It's almost like are you bipolar or schizophrenic? Because sometimes she's snarling at one minute, and then she's accepting the next. And this is just really, really confusing because comparing this behavior to the behavior that Raquel had prior to Liv's injury, it don't make sense. Now, a lot of the Judgment Day storyline right now doesn't make sense, like at all. I'm almost at the point where the whole thing is probably scrapped and they have to rebuild something else because everything is just not making sense. You got Raquel snarling now at Roxanne when she was just happy to have her help out with Rhea like 2 weeks prior. And then here now you got Raquel snarling, and then by the end of the match, like she's kind of holding Roxanne up. So like, what are we doing here? I just don't get it. The whole thing, like I said, the whole Judgment Day storyline doesn't make sense at all at this point, especially with Raquel's behavior. And it's not even acting like someone who is doing this for like show. Like like she might be presenting one way, but then like on the secret, like secretly or trying to be secretly, she's supporting. Like she's like cheer, like you see her, maybe a camera catches her cheering or something like that. But it's not that. It's just that she keeps flip flopping. Maybe they're trying to do it like she's trying to present herself as being angry just for Liv's benefits if she sees it, or so it could be something like that. But it just comes off as really bipolar because you're like I said, she's snarling, and then by the end of the night or end of the match, she's holding Roxanne up. So if this is just a show for Liv's benefit because Liv might be watching, that it should be presented differently than what we got. Um, so we had the match. Like I said, we had Alexa had her own entrance with Charlotte. Now Charlotte's look was eating. I can't deny Charlotte's look here. I loved it. She's been looking really great with her gear and with her outfit. So she's been looking spectacular. And I'm really digging the dynamic between Alexa and Charlotte right now because they're kind of doing that whole frenemies type deal. So I'm really digging it. Um, they had the match. The match was good. I don't like how a lot of Roxanne's offense was during the commercial break. So if you were on United States feed, you probably didn't see like a good chunk of Roxanne's offense because that was during the commercial break. But it was a good match. Sol Roca got to show out, and that was a really nice, really kind of like another main, roster showing out for Sol Roca. So she got to show out. And as predicted, the match dissolved, or didn't really dissolve. It was just more like their tag team partners started fighting. So you had Raquel getting involved with Zarya and Asuka and Charlotte there. I did like how they did play up Raquel's strength, and I did like the little stare down between Zarya and Raquel. That's a match I want to see in the future. Because at least I think Raquel would do a little lot better with the with Zarya as compared to Rhea, because I don't think Zarya will be protected as much. So you had the little spot towards the end where Zarya and Raquel got into it. Raquel picks up Zarya, puts her on her shoulder, kicks Asuka, like full booted kicks Asuka to the wayside, and then tosses Zarya. And then Charlotte comes in to attack Raquel. Now, what I did not like about this little interaction between Charlotte and Raquel, because Charlotte just tossed Raquel over the announce table. And it was just really simplistic. Like you couldn't just like do like a hit and then like toss her or something like that. It was just like Charlotte just tosses her like over the announce table. So that was really simplistic. I really didn't like that. So, Raquel is having this nice showing with Zarya and Asuka, and then here comes Charlotte and does a simplistic toss over the announce table. Now, the funny thing with this is that when Raquel was tossed over the announce table, she took out Joe Tessacor. So Wade Barrett had the sense to get out the way, but Raquel could control herself, and so when she went flying, she rose right into Joe Tessacor. So it was like a few seconds of him not, falling out of commentary because Raquel landed on him. That was funny. Alexa wins by pinning Cody. Now, I'm still not flinching on Alexa and Kyrie. Not Alexa, not Kyrie. I mean, I'm not flinching on Alexa and Charlotte winning. Why am I saying that? Because momentum shifts have basically done are not like they were in the past. Usually, when you had a momentum shift, like somebody's going into like a PLE with all this momentum where they're winning, usually they lose. Usually, but here recently we haven't had that. The most recent example I've had of people having momentum and they still won anyway is with Seth Rollins. He came in that SmackDown prior to Money in the Bank, did waylays to everybody, and like pretty much in the men's Money in the Bank match, and then he still proceeded to win Money in the Bank. So that's why I say just because Alexa and Charlotte won, or at least Alexa won, doesn't mean that Alexa's not going to win on Sunday. And besides that, there's still more drama with Roxanne and Raquel losing instead of winning. Because if you're winning and you carry that to, it's just only another few weeks till SummerSlam. What do you do with that? And the Judgment Day needs the drama because we're only a few weeks away from SummerSlam. So I know they're probably going to do Dom and AJ, but there's still nothing that can ratchet up this drama with Judgment Day. Right now they're presenting as happy family or whatever, but they need the drama. Yeah, you could come in with maybe Raquel and Roxanne having a win there, and maybe Raquel Raquel could probably be happy, and then maybe shows up, maybe, but still, it's a belt where it's still not going to get defended, and I think it will be more defenses if you have Charlotte and Alexa win because they can start fighting Michin and BFAB and Secret Hervis. Like there's plenty of teams already ready to go on the SmackDown side for Charlotte and Alexa than Roxanne and Raquel on Raw. I mean, they have the Dungeon Dolls, but they haven't really presented Dungeon Dolls as a tag team yet, even though they got a T-shirt. So, um, there's not a lot of teams on Raw for Raquel and Roxanne unless they just want to have them hold it for a while. And I can see them probably holding it for a while. But like I said, that's not drama. I mean, Liv coming back into Judgment Day, like if my prediction is correct, if she shows up on Monday, then still you're still coming back to a status quo where we need some kind of shot in the arm for Judgment Day. Like a loss will at least take away that pair of titles, and then you can have some bickering here finally. And then if Liv returns on Monday, that's just more of a jolt. You know what I mean? Because right now we're still 3 weeks away from SummerSlam at this point, 3 or 4 weeks. So they got to get AJ and Dom set up, and then whatever they're gonna do with Dom and Finn, if they're even gonna still do that. Because right now with Dom and Finn, that's kind of stopped. So they could be and they could be waiting on Liv for that, but everything's kind of stopped. So it almost is like, um, like I said, I think they just need that. They just need to lose there. The belts, they don't need to have the belts, and that frees up Liv to do whatever when she is fully healed and she can go do whatever. And besides that, people didn't want Liv to have the tag team title in the first place, so I'm not sure why they need to still hold on to that title. And like I said, it's really interesting that Raquel was snarling at the entrance, and then Roxy is leaving on Raquel at the end of the match. So, like pick a side, pick a lane. What are we doing here? So that was for Fatal 4-Way. Um, like I said, I still expect Charlie and Alexa to win that one. Oh, Tiffany and Trish. Again, what is it with them cutting out entrances for the women? Like, what are we doing here? I really didn't pay attention to this because I can't really stand to hear Tiffany talk, but I did pay attention when Naomi showed up. It started to talk, and then here comes Jade walloping on her, and then but here we actually saw Naomi fight back, so it wasn't like she was just taking the brunt of everything. Naomi started fighting, and when Naomi fights, what I love about her fights is she will grab that hair. If y'all seen her since her Funkadactyl days when she broke up with Cameron, she will grab the hair and start wailing on you. And she was doing that to Jade. And I was tickled pink because I was happy that she was actually fighting back with Jade. But the funny thing here, as always with Naomi, is when the officials are trying to separate her and Jade, you can see the officials physically dragging Naomi backstage. Like she's trying to hold on to like that. What was it? That little entranceway edge there. Like when they're when they're coming out onto the rampway there. There's like a little entranceway edge where you can see the video screen edge. And here is Naomi grabbing onto that so she can still try to get to Jade, but the officials are trying to pull her backstage. So she's like holding on to it. Hilarious. Um, but I just like how it showed like the officials had to do so much to actually pick her up, pull her backstage because she was fighting so hard and holding on to things, so she could get at Jade. Um, let me go into Evolution. I'm gonna give some predictions, but they're not really predictions because except for two matches because a lot of these matches could go either way. I can't like say for certain on a lot of them. Like right now, like I feel certain that Raquel and Roxanne are losing the titles, but there's a possibility they might. I just feel like it's just better for them to lose it. Um, but for Evolution, they announced that Io and Rhea are going to be in the main event, and I'm like, no, duh. I'm like, we're gonna end Evolution with Rhea holding that title up. They're gonna send people home happy. And I'm like, well, there goes Io's reign. Like they did, like I said, they did more for Jelly Roll, building something up than Io, and that's fucked up. And I really don't care that what if Liv's injury threw some things into chaos. Still, you don't treat Io that way. That's messed up. Like there was plenty of time before Liv got injured for Io to be doing something. So she would have been going from WrestleMania to now with no title defenses, only to drop it back to Rhea, the person that she won it against. And some people are now thinking that maybe this might be the catalyst for people to have some people turn on Rhea. Now, I have my doubts. I've been saying that, like, I've always said that it's going to take like a certain wrestler for people to turn on Rhea, and it could be Io. I don't think so. I'm not sure if we found that person where if Rhea runs up against them and she beats them, the crowd is going to revolt. It might happen with Io. I don't think so, but it might. But maybe this is like the catalyst that starts turning people against Rhea because they can't keep doing this. I really don't care if Rhea is popular. They always want to compare her to Stone Cold. Stone Cold was popular, yes. He was. Was he in the main event scene? Yeah, but they had other people around him that were in the main event scene. The title rotated among all these people. So when it wasn't on Stone Cold, it was on The Rock. If it wasn't on The Rock, it was on Triple H. If it wasn't on the Triple H, it was on Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Mankind, or Mick Foley. And then there's some other people in there too. But it rotated. And when Stone Cold didn't have the title, he was off doing some other stuff. Like he was off like doing some side quests. We call it side quests, kind of like how Cody did side quests. He was off doing some stuff, and by the time it was time for him to come back around for the title, you didn't get fatigued because there was always some other people that other people wanted to see, other fans wanted to see that they had their time with the belt. And this is during the time of the Attitude Era where everybody was doing a hot potato with the title. So everybody was having a turn with the belt. With Rhea, she gets it and holds it then they proceed to not build up anybody else around her to get that title off her. She just runs through them. That's the problem. She could be a Stone Cold type character, but you need people around the Stone Cold type character so that people don't get fatigued. Online, you're fatigued because you keep seeing it. Yeah, if you're in the audience, you'll be happy to see Rhea, but that's because you've been programmed for the pop. I've been saying that since last year too. You're programmed to pop for Rhea. That's why they always had her running in on something. This is my brutality, and here she comes running out. Of course, people are going to cheer because that's probably the only time they've seen Rhea. So now, when you hear the "This is my brutality," you're gonna, the audience is going to pop. So here now, We got Io on the receiving end of getting her championship taken away, but and with nothing done for her during the reign. Her reign, this reign here was worse than her reign when she was about to face Bayley, and that's hard. And I didn't think that was possible. Like her reign when she was about building up to face Bayley, that was a bad reign. But here now, this reign here was the absolute worst, and that was no fault of her own. I'm sorry, you. But like I said, we tried to warn people. We tried to warn them, and look what happened. Now we got people on the X crying about Io losing the championship because at this particular point, it's almost a guarantee that she will lose the title. So now you got people crying about it. I'm like, well, we warned you. People were so hell bent on blaming Liv for saying that, everybody got tired of it because of Liv and they were circling the drain. Yeah, you got tired of the feud because all they would do was Rhea beating up on Liv and beating up on Dom. Nobody else was allowed to do anything. Like Dom wasn't allowed to fight back. Liv was allowed to fight back. Raquel was treated instead of like being an effective bodyguard, she was just ran through. Like just now, she's only started to rebuild herself, but still now you still get glimpses of how people just kind of run through her, like with Charlotte today. Like you can't be an intimidating presence if you're just gonna keep getting walloped all the time. So of course you're gonna get tired of seeing Rhea just continuously beating people up. This is where they needed last year. It should have went so much different. But as soon as we got that promo with Dom and Liv in Austin, I knew that they weren't gonna allow the growth necessary for Rhea. I've always said that Rhea needed her eating ice cream and watching sad movies moment, and we never got it. We got a glimpse of what could have happened after she lost the title to Io in January, and I was all set to really dissect that promo if she had continued that way. I was gonna sit down, rewatch the promo, dissect it, and show what they could have done, but they didn't. She went right back to being annoying and forcing herself way into things. Anywho, Rhea's gonna win that one. That's my prediction on that. Unless something surprising happens, she's gonna lose. Rhea's gonna win that belt, and Io's gonna lose.